Hey everybody, it's Bob Grzecki here from the Alberta Hunter Education Instructors Association. Here to do a vlog on boating safety. Have a whole bunch of things to talk to you about and to show you to get you prepped for your water experience. If we're going to focus on our water experience and prepare ourselves to have a good, safe boating experience, there's a number of things we need to do. We first need to make sure that we understand that there are some safety precautions that you have to take, some things that you should carry with you. We'll talk about life jackets, we'll talk about lights, we'll talk about signaling devices, first aid, and a little bit on fire safety. We'll talk about a kit that you should be able to carry with you that contains a number of things. I'll break one of these apart. We'll talk about the paddle that you have to have with you and other safety devices. But I want to make sure that you understand the difference between this workbook, which is clearly a very brief overview of some safety characteristics that you need to do to be able to be safe in your water excursion, and compare that to the Pleasure Craft Operator Training course that we operate. So we operate a federally mandated boat safety program that gets you your license if you complete this course. The course is made up of 5 separate modules with a multitude of information. The first module is all about getting your boat ready, and then you move into how to keep you and your people that are on your boat safe, as well as keeping your boat safe, getting ready to get on the water, following the rules of the water, preventing and responding to emergencies, and then it culminates with an exam. You can log on to this program through our online portals, and you can take that, or you can contact AHEIA and take this in the classroom. First of all, we want to recommend that anybody that goes out on the water on any kind of a vessel whatsoever has a minimum of the contents that are coming in this kit. So we have these kits available. You can buy them at Canadian Tire. A number of different stores market this product. Inside is, when you open it up, it contains these items here. It comes with a flashlight. Comes with a buoyant heaving line. This buoyant heaving line has value, as well does this whistle, and then the case and the container itself also operates as a bailing bucket. So when we talk about flashlight, if we come over here and take a look at these flashlights, these are useful for signaling, and it's valuable to have a flashlight on your boat. And if you need assistance, or you can basically tell people where you are, or that you can get their attention, these Kyalum lights come in the colors of your starboard and port side lights. Flashlights that are penetrating, an ability to penetrate fog. If you're going to have a light, you need to make sure that it's powered by batteries that are not dead. The other thing that you need to have is some sort of a signaling device. We recommend that you carry a whistle. I would recommend that you attach these to your life jackets and have them at the ready at all times. All whistles are not created equal. It's a sound signaling device that lets other boaters or other people know that you might need help. It tells them that you have trouble, and you need to be able to rely on it. Some whistles don't get plugged up with water. Some whistles don't freeze because they don't have a P. But those ones, generally speaking, don't come up with much volume. The ones that have a little ball inside or a P, they can freeze quite easily, but you can get some volume. The ones in our kits come with a Fox 40 whistle, which has a very penetrating sound without a P in it. And you get lots of volume, and you can really penetrate the dense quiet on the waterways. Lots of whistles that are available. Just make sure that you have one. Have a signaling device so that you can talk to people with sound. Another signaling device that you can carry is a flare. Flares have the ability to be able to penetrate fog, penetrate darkness. They light up and travel quite a distance. Some of them you can hold on to them, take the caps off, strike the device, and causes it to fly. Some of them are visible day and night. Water kits made by a number of manufacturers come so that you can use it much like a pistol, where you take one round, drop it into the chamber, pull it back, cock the hammer, and fire it. These devices have a signaling distance that can go several hundred meters, I should say, into the sky. Whatever you do, carry some means of signaling with you. A fire extinguisher is recommended and required on any boat that has an internal combustion motor. Make sure that it's checked annually and make sure that it's rated for electrical and for oil-based fires. Check for an ABC rating, and depending on the size of your boat, you're going to need a 5-pound or a 10-pound extinguisher. Make sure that you look at the regulations. This will be a test question that you're going to have to understand relative to the size of your boat. So make sure that you've got the ability to put a fire out on your boat. Reboarding devices are required on larger boats. Most are used to be able to help somebody that's in the water to get back onto the boat. It's not as easy as one might imagine to be able to bring a body out of the water into your boat, even when they're trying like crazy to paddle and pull themselves up, and it is difficult. So a reboarding device is important. These hang over the edge of the boat. They can hook onto the gunnel, and then once they're hooked onto the gunnel, this ladder actually extends down and then into the water, and you can drag, or they can help themselves up into the boat. Most commonly, a small ladder. They can be fixed, or they can be rope, or they can be a specialized lifting harness. Don't use any part of the engine to climb back on board. That's an important safety characteristic we want you to remember. Reboarding devices are definitely required on larger boats. Again, consult the program so that you understand what the minimum requirements are for the size of the vessel that you operate. Another essential piece of equipment for you to carry is a map and compass. It's the only 100% reliable way to navigate. Always carry a map and a compass when you're on the water, especially in areas that you're unfamiliar with. Be sure that you know how to use them. File a trip plan. Make sure that it could just be as simple as letting somebody know where you're going and when you plan to return. But be sure when you close the trip plan, which means that when you get back, that you've told somebody that you're safely returned. Check your weather and the water conditions. Weather can change as quickly as I can change my mind. Be prepared, or just stay home. If the water is higher or lower than normal, there will be additional hazards. Be aware of those hazards. Be aware of the information and where to get it. Another essential piece of equipment is an anchor or a paddle, preferably at least one of each. If your motor happens to conk out on you, you have to have a way of either moving or staying put, preferably at least one of each, as I mentioned. Paddles come in various shapes and sizes. They can be extended, they can be shortened, so there's no excuse for them taking up too much space on your boat. As for anchors, there's lots of different types of anchors, and each is best for specific lake bottom types. Know what type of lake bottom you're traveling over before you head out, and make sure you have the correct anchor. I just want to mention again the importance of navigation lights. Every vessel that travels at night or in poor visibility has to have working navigational lights. So there's specific requirements that differ depending on the type and the size of boat that you're operating. Just be sure that your lights are working and that you have the right kind. Let's talk a little bit about life jackets or personal flotation devices. There's a myriad of different products that are out there. They range in size from something like a floater coat like what I'm wearing here today, comparing to the number of that are on the table here that we'll talk about. Let's explore some of these. Key to a life jacket is you have to wear it. If you wear it, it will save your life. If it is too big, too bulky, too uncomfortable, much like that coat that I was wearing, although it's a perfect coat, highly unlikely that you'll use it if you're casting a fly or if you're fly fishing. But there are other devices that are made specific to the purpose that you have on the water. Whichever life jacket or personal flotation device that you choose to wear, we recommend that everybody on board a boat of any kind wears a life jacket at all times. If it's uncomfortable, chances are you're going to use it as a chair or a seat. And I don't think that that's a wise use of that particular resource. So, first of all, it has to fit properly, it has to be in good repair, and it has to be approved by Transport Canada or another approving body. They come in such different sizes and shapes. Some are designed to hold your head out of the water, to be buoyant. But you can imagine, if I'm going to be fly fishing, using a life jacket like this might not be all that probable. I probably will use it as a chair in my boat. However, this one will keep my head out of the water. I mentioned that some of these life jackets are small and capable and easy to wear and easy to put on. And if they're easy to wear and easy to put on, chances are really good that you're going to use them. It's as simple as that. It's not restricting. Some of these life jackets, the second that they touch water, auto-inflate. Others have a pull device that allows for a CO2 cartridge to inflate the jacket and give you some buoyancy. Let's look at one of those. Make sure that the device that you're using is checked regularly, that it operates. As an example, this one here, when you hit the water, it can inflate. It has a life jacket ability here, and then the capacity of the air that is charged up by the CO2 cartridge actually fills the life jacket. It also has an inflate tube that you can blow into to increase the buoyancy. It has a whistle attached to it, and so on. Others have the actual CO2 cartridge that's actually contained right into the kit. You have to make sure that these are tested regularly, checked regularly. And as you can see, this particular one has that cartridge inside. And when you pull the cord on this particular one, then this survival coat will allow you to inflate the cartridge. And then this puffs up enough to give you buoyancy. Same thing with some of the life jackets that are designed specifically for fishing. This one also has an auto inflate feature that when you pull this cord here, it allows for the inflation to take place, and the pack actually charges with CO2 and fills the coat. Others that are filled with foam have been tested for various sizes. This kind of a jacket might be more appropriate for somebody that might be water skiing and so on. But there are such a myriad of them available on the market, various sizes and various shapes. There's no reason to ever be without a life jacket. Make sure that it fits you. Make sure that you've tested it. Don't be afraid to hop in the water and check it out. Give it a try. Well, that's it for today's video log and our primer on boating safety. Make sure you have the right equipment. Make sure you're prepared for your experience. Follow the things that we talk about in our program. Go to see the workbook, experiment and challenge yourself with that workbook. And then make sure that you take a Pleasure Craft Operator training program. Get certified, get your license, enjoy the waters, stay safe, and we'll chat again next time.